there's something that we can all learn from each other. We all know India and India's economy, how it has been transformed, day by day. We all know that right now, basically, the Indians are leading, the world. You see world leaders, some of them are from there, leaders who are leading different companies here and there. They're from India as well. There's something that they're doing right. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at that, there's something that they're doing right, and there's something that we ain't doing right. Okay, and we should be humble enough to understand that, to recognize that, and to try to change it. And how can we know that? We need to have conversations like this. We need to have a conversation like this to figure out, what are you guys doing right that we are not, right? Why you guys are where you are and we are not there? All right, how can we get there? Let me give you an example, man. One of my Korean friends one day was telling me this. He said, man, he was telling me this, hey, Africa, you have to do better. And he said, there's a big difference between Africa and Korea. And I was like, what is that difference? I was like, you guys are colonized and us are colonized. What is the difference? And he said, South Korea were colonized by, Japanese. So what happened to them is that, they were brutally tortured and all the stuff, but they didn't dwell there. So their goal, it was that, hey, we have to develop to be more than them. We have to beat them. That's how they can pay their revenge, right? So in 1980 something, Japan was leading with Sony and different companies from Japan all over the world. Like, everywhere you see, you find Sony. Everywhere you see, they were leading all over the world. But then since 20, I think it's 20, since 20,000 and something, that's when Korea actually started to catch up. Right now, Korea is right there. Like, back in the days, Korea was here, Japan was there. But right now, Korea is here, Japan is here. And Japan colonized South Korea, right? But right now, if you want to talk about the best companies in the world, you ain't going to stop mentioning, Korean companies like Samsung, LG, Hyundai, Kia, and so many other companies that are, are doing great, are doing amazing. So he told me this, that he said the difference between us and you is that we saw that, yes, we were, colonized, but we need to do better. We will be satisfied if we beat them economically. We'll be satisfied if we show them that, you guys, yes, you colonized us, you guys, you killed us, you guys, you tortured us, but this is how we are showing you. We're going to work hard, we're going to give everything we can, and we're going to surpass you. And that's what is happening right now. South Korea is right there. It's just a very small country. But imagine the country that was colonized just a couple of years back. Today, it's above the country that colonized them. So basically, if I'm talking about Africa, like my country, right now, imagine if it's better economically than German or than the UK, than British. Because they colonized us, right? But we cannot stop there and be like, have that mentality that, these guys, it's because they colonized us and that's why, we are not developed, that's why we are not there. No, those are kind of excuses. Those are just excuses. There is possibility for Africa to be better economically. There's a possibility for Africa to grow economically and to be better than any other country on this earth. There are possibility. Do we believe that we can? Well, it doesn't just stop with believing, but also actions. And so having this kind of conversation, it helps us to figure out that, what did you guys do right that we are not doing right today? We can't keep dwelling in the past. We can't keep blaming what happened 50, 60 years ago. It happened. Yes, it happened. What are we doing right now? Where are we at right now? What are we doing to save ourselves from where we are right now? What am I doing, me, as Mika, to change what is happening right now in Africa and to make this continent, to leave this continent a little bit a better place than what I found? You know what I'm saying? And that's why these conversations are very important. Because I know, I'm saying this because I know some of you might be thinking that, why you should be talking with India? Why should we be learning from India? Man, there's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of things to learn that we must do right. India is going to lead the world very soon. I'm telling you. You just wait and see. But that could be Africa as well, right? And there's a work to be done. There's a sacrifice that has to be made. There's a dedication and commitment that we all have to give. Right? You can talk about our leaders, they need to do their part. You can talk about us youth, we need to be our part. And us as a people, collectively, as Africans, we need to do our part. And one of the biggest and main agenda of Swahili Nation One Africa, SNOA, is One Africa. All right, that's the first agenda that we have to do. So what can we learn from India? And you guys who are watching here, I know, I don't know everything, but you guys, you know what they're doing right. So I know I've told you guys today that Bhavesh, he ain't gonna be here today with us because of the internet connection. We've tried. We were here behind the scene and we tried everything we can, but he cannot hear anything from me. The internet is just awful. So we apologize for that. That is not gonna be able to show up here. But hopefully in the coming days we'll have they will have a better connection for us to come and to have that conversation. Bhavesh, he's in Ethiopia. He's been living in Ethiopia for a couple of years now. And the internet connection in Ethiopia is not good at all. And that's why, we cannot, we didn't do. But anyways, the show must go on. And, we all have a part to play. And, I'm not just going to leave here right now and leave you guys. But, we plan to have the long session is like 30-minute session to talk about this. But since he's not here, I'll finish anytime that that I'm done my part. Let me ask you guys this question who are watching. What do you think Africa can learn from India? What do you think you can learn? And if you do not agree with African learning from India, you can let us know as well in the comment section. I want to know that. What do you think Africa can learn from India? I wanna know your opinion, as I keep, sharing these few ideas that I have in my mind. All right, I wanna see. Yeah. So Africa, we should. I'll be reading your comments, guys, as you comment. So please do that, and also you can like this stream. You can share with somebody out there, and also you can support me through Patreon. The link is in the comment section. I pinned all the way at the top. If you wanna stand with me and support what I do, please go and support me. Become my Patreon. All right. So yeah. So the victimizing mentality, it never works. It will never work. And every time when you victimize yourself, it comes hand in hand with excuses. Like, this has happened because of this. This has happened because of that. Well, that can change because of you as well. That you can change that because of whatever reason that is there. You can change that. We can change that. It is possible to do it. Korea, they did it. India, they're on the way. They're doing it right now. Right? The economy of India is just booming like crazy. In the time like this, that world is going through a lot of tragedies, and economy is just shaking all over the world. There's a war going on here and there, but they're still booming. They're still doing well in the midst of all of that. Why we as Africa, we can't? And this is the richest continent on earth. There's everything you can name here in Africa. Well, Indians, they see that opportunity because right now in Africa, you have African Indians. To be honest, here, if you come to my country, Tanzania, literally the economy, if all the companies and all the things, you'll find it's from Indians. They're literally the economy of this country. The same thing when you go to Kenya. The same thing when you go to so many African countries here. They're everywhere. What did they do? And why here? Because there are opportunities. Because there's money in Africa. Africa is not poor. There is money in Africa. That's why everybody wants to come to Africa to get that money. And right now you have, as I said, you have like African Indians, Indians that have been here for generations and generations. That their kids, they know better about, the country here than their own countries. They were born here. They have passport here. Their kids are going here. Their granddaddies, and they're everywhere. We have that. And when you see their community, how much, let's say, they develop, how much they do their work, how much they are expanding, how much they are booming in so many areas. And most of our people, we're working for them. What are they doing right that we're not doing right? What us as Africans, what can we learn from them? I really want to know that. And just in case, if you have something that you want to say, maybe not right, I share the link in the comment section. You can come and share that. I think I'll have people here to come and to share as well. If they have something that you want to share, you say like, I think this is what we can learn from. That's the link in the comment section. You come, you give your point, and then bring another person to come and bring a point. All right. This is very important. So as I continue to share this, let me read comments here. It's nice to see Mika, and wish to see you and Bavish on this platform, both true Pan-Africans. Appreciate HC. I appreciate so much. Okay, Adam says all of African countries need free market economy policy, low taxes, or not at all. So we be developing like China or India, 8%. Oh yeah, that's a solid point right there from Adam RR. That's need free market economy policy. Does Africa doesn't have that? Because when you look at the AU meetings all the time, they talk about this stuff. They talk about free market. They talk about all this stuff. But I think the only challenges that we're facing is when it comes to implementation. And that's why we're fighting for one Africa, because you cannot really have that if you don't have a united Africa, if you don't have united front Africa. You cannot really have that. Today you come here to do business. I said here before that in order for a foreigner, and this is really sad. Like if you're an African from African country, you come to another different country in Africa. I'm not gonna mention the names of the country, but you guys, your own countries. Just you open up a business in another neighboring African country, you need to have a lot of money in reserve. You need to show a lot of money, guys, a lot of money. So what happens is we don't really do, because most of us, we don't have that amount of money. But we invite, for them it's easy to do because they have that amount of money. All this stuff, it's almost impossible to do business within the countries in Africa because of the restrictions that are everywhere, because of taxes, as you say, Adam, that are everywhere, that if you come and do here, man, the taxes, you're gonna regret. You'd rather go back to your country and do business there or somewhere else, even in Dubai, and you'll do your business well than doing in Africa, and you're an African. Why? Because you're a foreigner. How can you be a foreigner in Africa and you're an African? You're not a foreigner. You're not a refugee. You're an African. So if these things, we work them out, if we have a one Africa, if we have a united Africa, we take away all these, all these limitations that we have that are hindering us from doing business, from doing free trade with one another, that are hindering us, that constantly is just about competition, and it doesn't lead us anywhere. Because the only way for Africa to rescue ourselves from where we are right now is to have a unity with ourselves, is to join our hands together and to fight together, to go together hand in hand, to be like, what, we are together in this and we want to fight for the better Africa. In Africa, we should have the stable internet in Africa. We should have that. But today we're not having this session simply because of the internet. How crazy is that? Do you know how many things we could have learned here today? But we ain't gonna have that session. Why? Because of the internet. These days, this is how we connect, especially in these times of pandemic and all this stuff. We connect like this through internet. Internet is basically a basic need right now. It's a basic need. It's it's the media of communication and everything that we do. But we can't have this session simply because in Africa the internet is poor, and that's the image that is out there. Man, Africa is a rich continent, but even internet, we can't have a better internet in Africa. Man, that's ridiculous. And you think that you're going to develop after 1 year, 2 years, and you don't have internet. The world that we have right now is digital world. Where are we going? Where are we going? There's something to learn, man. There's something to learn from India. There's something to learn from all these countries. There's something to learn from China. There's something to learn from all those countries that sometimes we hate even to mention. There's something to learn. And we need to wake up. Adam, yes. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's really, cool thought. EM2, he said, one thing they can learn from India is to be neutral politically and not to get involved in foreign wars. I love that. I love that. Actually, I love that because of, we know even what happened between Russia and Ukraine. Yes, India are neutral about that as well. It is very important because when you come to Africa, it feels like every single country in Africa is a puppet of one nation out there, either US, these days is US and China. It's obvious. Oh, France. When you go to the west part of Africa as well and northern part of Africa, so you have France, you have US, you have China. Oh, you have even Turkey as well, and so many other nations. You find out 54 different countries in Africa. All of us, we have our own puppet. We have our own. It's kind of like a motto. We have people that we worship. We have countries that we worship. That whatever they say, we don't have a say, and we all know why we got there. We got there because of the loans and aids that we receive. Some people, we have like 50-50 there. Some people in one group, they say, you know what, we cannot survive without loans and aids. And another group of people, they say we can survive without it. So because of that, the continent is divided, our countries are divided, and we become puppets of them. Because we know that all these loans and aids, they don't come without conditions. They have strict conditions. And sadly, most of our people who are leading us, they focus on what they're doing right now. If I'm building road right now, but they're not thinking about the next generation. That yeah, again, these issues with Africa. Electricity just went out. Man, it's really frustrating, man. You have no idea. It's really frustrating. Very frustrating. How do you expect to develop in this kind of weather? How do you expect to really prosper in this kind of environment? You don't have internet, you don't have electricity, just gone anytime, anywhere without any information. It just goes like that. How many industries right now they're just stopping? Unless if you have generator, which, man, electricity is basic needs, it should be. Even this light will go off very soon because no electricity, and this light is gonna end very soon. It's sad, man. It's sad, the environment, man. It's true. We talk about transforming Africa, reimagining Africa, and making this place a better place than the way it is. But man, if we don't deal with these small things, I really don't know why. If we don't deal with these small things, then water, electricity, internet, if you don't deal with these basic needs, because right now water, electricity, water is basic need, man. Electricity, internet, all these are basic needs in this world today. If we don't deal with that, how are we gonna develop Africa? How are we gonna change Africa? Man, if I was a leader and we have all these issues with electricity all the time, man, what the heck am I doing? What the heck is happening in Africa, man? And I'm not saying that because I'm mad or whatever. No, I'm really just questioning. Because this is something that has been here for over 50 years. Since independence, it's 50 years. We don't have the proper solution forever to... in other countries, when electricity goes out like this, if you're a minister, you resign from your position. Even if it's just once, you resign. Because you have no idea how many billions of dollars you just lose at that moment. Because right now, oh man. I'll tell you the truth, man. I'm doing this because I have hope. All right. Hope is what gives me strength to move forward. I'm doing this because of God. God is my hope. God is my leader. And let me just pray, because I didn't start with a prayer today. I was just here to tell you guys that this session is not going to happen. And I didn't pray. So I'll pray a little quick and continue. God, I thank you for the moment you've given us, for the time, and for everybody who is watching right now live and those who will be watching later. Thank you in good time and bad times as well, as we share and talk and share ideas. God, today, be here with us and help us to get something that will help us to do something for this beautiful continent. I give you praise in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. All right. Yeah, there's a lot to learn, guys. Electricity went off. That's why I was stuck a little bit. And it happens like this every time around this time. And you don't have informations. Like, things are just happen like that, man. Like, if you take electricity away, at least give like information to you that this day at this time we'll cut the electricity so that people can be prepared. But things are just happening like this all the time. Just going like that. Shop. Man, do you know how many things, how many TVs, how many families, how many they're losing their stuff because of that? Because every time when the electricity gone like that and come back, something is missing. All right. Okay, so EM2, you said really right. One thing they can learn from India is to be neutral politically and not get involved in foreign wars. Africa, hands off. Do not be involved in some things that they don't even matter to you. The only wars that we should be involved and we should stand with is the conflicts that are happening in Africa. As Africans, we should stand together because no one is free until all of us are free. No one is at peace. If one country in Africa is at war, then no one is at peace in the entire continent. So those are the only wars we should involve ourselves with. Those are only countries we should support even financially. It's happening in Sudan, right? It's been happening in Congo for years. It's been happening in Ethiopia. How are we supporting? Us as country, as people, we need to support each other. In Africa, first, Africa should be first. Africa should be first, not otherwise. They don't give a shit about you if you go and you support whatever country out there. They don't care about you. Nobody cares about Africa, and that's okay. We do not expect them to care about Africa. If we do not care about Africa, we do not expect anybody to care about Africa. We should care about our country. We should care about our people. We should care about what's happening here in Africa. And we have that responsibility to do that. Otherwise, nobody will. Nobody will. Yeah, so we should not involve. That's a good thing to learn from India. Appreciate, Pi. Appreciate, man. Appreciate. Yeah, it's Pi. EM2. You're Pi, man. You always change your names. You have so many names so far. Come, man. And I share the link in the comment section. If you wanna contribute as well, you can come and join me. Adam is sharing again. He said India does not waste time. When they are free, they set up police to develop country as fast as they can. So should Africa. Well, you guys, time is one thing that I'm fighting with a lot of people, actually, even in my normal life. Fighting a lot. Like, when it comes to time, I will talk to you even for 30 minutes. Just tell you, why you should not waste time. And why I will not meet you again because you waste time. Yeah. Time is life. Those are 4 philosophies, 4 elements that I've been living my life with. The first thing, preparations, details, time, and difficult decision. These are 4 things that made me who I am today. And, that's still helping me every single day. If you waste time, you waste your life, because time is life. Time is not money. No, time is life. Because when you die, the time stops. For you, time stops. Now you're alive, time is running. So literally, when you hear these, like the beats, the heartbeats, this is time. Can you listen to heartbeats? Do you know that heartbeats, it plays like seconds? Do you know that? Guys, actually, I'm just finding out this right now. Wait, where's my heart? Okay, my heart is beating. Let me see my heart and seconds. If the man, okay, somebody tell me if the heartbeat, it goes exactly similar to the second, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then that should tell you something. This is a prophetic word. I'm giving you something deep today. If your heartbeat, it beat the same time as second, each second, you have to know that time is life. When you die, I'm not praying that to happen to you right now. So in Jesus' name, that's not gonna happen to you right now. But when that happens, your time stop. The heartbeats stop. That's time stop. That's how valuable. That's how important. That's how precious time is. Even the Bible tells us to manage time, especially in these times, in these days. I've seen the same thing in South Korea. I'll say it again. That country developed well because of time. They care, they keep, they love time, they cherish time, they don't hate time, they don't waste time. Even the buses, the train, man, they have schedule. It comes here, it leaves here at 9. If it is 9 and 1 minute you arrive there, you ain't gonna see the bus. You ain't gonna see it. They're not gonna wait for you because you booked the flight or you booked the ticket. No, they're gonna leave you because you came there late. Anyone who keep time, his or her life is completely different from those who waste time. You're living in a different world, keeping time world and wasting time world. So do not waste time, because time is life. If you waste, you're wasting your life and you'll never get it back. You'll never get it back. I'm 30 years of age right now, and sometimes I feel like there was a moment in my life that I wasted time. I wish I can go back, but I can't go back. It's already past. So what can I do? Is to keep the time that I have right now and to live each second, knowing that anytime I stop, my clock might stop. And if it is stopped, what did I leave behind? What is the legacy? What did I do for my people? What did I do for Africa? What did I do that it will live forever even when I am not there? I hope we think like this. I hope African leaders think like that, that it's not just about the time that you're leading the country, but it's about the time that you ain't gonna be there. Your grandkids, they'll be there talking about the good things that you did a lot of years before, 50 years ago, and that changed the direction of the entire country. What are you doing today? So that's one of the things Adam says we could learn from them. Angry Breaches, he or she says, India does a lot of phone support for Western countries. Some of those companies, such as Cisco, pay well. All right, yeah, we know India. One thing that they are developed and blessed with is the technology and engineers and IT and all the stuff. Those are guys that are the CEO of Google, and so many other big companies are from there. Even the Prime Minister of UK right now, and there's one guy, he's running for the presidency of United States. He's also Indian. And so many companies out there, they have their CEOs actually in India and also outside of India. So, I mean, some CEOs, they're actually in India, but they're working in international companies out there. So you know what that does to the country, right? Yeah, so they're doing pretty well. Some of those companies such as Cisco pays well. No, even that that. Things that we see in phones, those minerals come from Congo, right? But look at Congo there and look at Africa. We ain't benefit anything from that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't benefit anything from that. So it's something to learn from that as well, guys. All right, before I continue, please continue to share your comment in the comment section. What do you think Africa can learn from India? Let me bring in my brother here. I have His Excellence Ezra here with me, man. It's been a minute. It's good to have him here, and you're gonna hear from him. My brother, how are you, man?
His Excellency. How you been, His Excellency?
Hey, man, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. I miss that library.
Hey, man, it's good to be here. Been a minute, it's been an hour, it's been a day, it's been a month, it's been
Yeah,
almost a year. But yeah, it's been a minute, it's been an hour, it's been a day, it's been a month. But yeah,
yeah,
good to be here, and I've been listening in the background to
yeah,
the topic at hand. And I think
yeah.
it's quite an interesting one in terms of
Mm,
how the Indian community have been flourishing and have been developing themselves, as a community, whether in the diaspora or even in India. So it's quite interesting when you see how much they've done wherever they've gone. I mean, and I think there's a few models that have been we've seen with other communities that have been working. Even the Somali community, if you look at them, or the Muslim community, how they also work in terms of business. And I
mm,
think one of the strength with the Indian communities, even the Muslim communities, is the family-based type of businesses, how they
mm,
come together to start a business. Unlike most of our African communities or the Black communities, we don't really have a lot of family-based businesses. Because if you check most of the Indian businesses, whether in Tanzania, South Africa, Mozambique, wherever, which country that you can go to, you find
mm,
that they are working as a family, as a unit, as brothers. When they're running a warehouse as brothers, or there is a whole family. When you go to the store, the manager is a family member, is a cousin, is a nephew, is a niece. So
mm,
things like that. I think that's also one of their strength,
mm,
and how they've overcome so many challenges, especially knowing that, especially when they came to other countries outside India,
mm.
they managed to work as a community instead of you are over there, you are Mika,
Yeah.
so and so is there, is Paul. Instead
Mm,
they always work as a unit. And if you noticed how the
mm,
communities have built their empires, especially inside Africa and even outside Africa or outside India, how they run the same model where the first generation will go. Either you are the first
mm,
generation that you go first in whatever country to explore and everything. And once you start establishing yourself, you call in
mm,
maybe your wife to come and join you, your kids to come and join you, yeah,
mm,
and a brother to come and join you. So and
mm,
and and that model has really worked into their favor, and that's why they've managed to expand so quickly, and also start having more knowledge. Because if you look at them as well, another point that I've also seen is education. Once they find that the first
mm,
generation wasn't really highly educated, whatever, but they managed to go into business. But the generation that
mm,
comes after, you find that they have a lot of kids that they take to the best schools. That's why now,
mm,
if you look at, I think you mentioned something about them, what they're doing overseas, be it in America, the Silicon Valley, how the Indian community has been the darling of the moment, in terms of big
yeah.
positions, and even the IT companies that have outsourced some of the work in India, your Dell, your HPs that they've sent, like the call
Mm,
center, the support is mostly in India. And also they've
mm,
got the human capital, and of which we as Africans have the human capital. It's not that we don't have the human capital, it's not that we don't have the skilled labor, it's because we have
mm,
not really been attractive, as you said, about us uniting for the common goal or the common good of us as a people. That's where
mm,
we lacking, and that's where we can really try to emulate some of the things that are working for other communities.
mm,
Yeah, and as a community, we have not really been understanding each other in terms of what you're doing. It's like everyone is just there to do whatever they have to do, and that's it. While other communities, when they get to the countries where they've gone for greener pastures, normally they first unite. They look for the, if you know, like if a Muslim right now leaves whatever country, go to another country, even if he gets to a country where he doesn't have family and stuff, he can easily just call and ask for a Muslim council to come and assist him or her. You know, they say, I've got a family, I'm in this country, is there a Muslim council around? I don't have money, I don't have this, can somebody help me? And it's easy for such communities. I'm just extending the hand about the Muslim community, because it's you know, and also the Indian communities, they have that. So of which is lacking mostly amongst more Africans. You know, if we can really look at the common things that you said, the basic needs, electricity, water, roads, the things that build economies. What sets us apart from other countries is this basics. It's basics. Then the business will develop, because, as you say, that how many businesses, how many billions that we are missing as a continent, let alone to beneficiate what building other industries that can process our minerals. We can't do that because those are energy intensive industries. So we're gonna obviously fall behind. We'll just be an extraction continent where we extract minerals, send them to those countries that are good in manufacturing, or they have the capacity to manufacture, while we always have to buy the finished goods. And even if we assemble them and we think it's made in our countries, but if you check the components and stuff, it's still coming from other countries. But the minerals, we still have them underground and we're still sending it outside. So hence we'll never eliminate unemployment, inequality, and also development, you know, and even entrepreneurship. It's not that Africans are not entrepreneurial than the Indian communities or other communities. We have a lot of entrepreneurs, but the systems and the systems in place in our countries are not really conducive. They are not really to develop a person in such a way that they can build bigger industries. Very few. We see there's great examples, not that it's impossible, it's doable. There are those who are doing it, even in this climate, in this environment where things might not look good. But how much more can we do if we had the capacity in terms of power, internet, infrastructure, the road networks, and how much investment we could be bringing to our countries, you know? And even some of the guys who are in the diaspora, how much money they could be pouring into their home countries or even the continent as a whole. So yeah, just my part. I think there's a lot of people that might want to join us, and really that's just my observation of other communities that are, especially the Indian community, when you talk of like how we can learn from them as well. And I've heard India is not really the richest. They still have a lot of poverty, but the numbers are looking good for them. And looking at our population, we are almost the same population as India as a country, as a continent. We can draw inspiration from that.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. I kind of lost you there for a moment.
Someone has been calling me here, so I try to turn to the not disturb mode. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Can hear you.
Yeah. Man, you're sharing. You're still sharing.
Yes, His Excellency. So those are the things that you're talking about, like electricity. I mean, I think the other time late last year when we talked about a bit of about South Africa having the same issue, struggling now to power the country, you know, especially people were spoiled to have 24 hours of electricity. Now there's a lot of blackouts, what they call load shedding and stuff, and to build capacity as well, they're struggling to build capacity. So things like that, where you can take a country from an upward trajectory to something really, you know, where you the confidence of the country goes down when there isn't really basic resources like electricity, you know. So and also knowledge sharing is excellency.
Continue. No, His Excellence. Go ahead, man. I've spoken a lot. I need that wisdom, man. I need that wisdom. But just one thing, man. People will be coming here and they'll be like, "Wow, is this guy Indian? He doesn't look like the one I see in the picture."
You know how it is, His Excellency, you know?
Yes.
We need to draw inspiration everywhere, and we should
Oh
not
yeah,
dismiss any community, regardless of who they are. If
absolutely.
they're doing well, we need to learn from them and take the
Absolutely,
goods
100%.
from them, you know?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yes, keep going, brother. I love hearing you, man.
Yeah, His Excellency. So yeah, as a people, I think planning wise, I mean, we've had the Africa trade stuff. I think we were so glad when it was launched that the Africans now we can start trading among ourselves. It's no longer the case of everything you have needs to go to China, everything you have needs to go to India or needs to go to Europe or America. But then now the plan now is how do we maximize knowledge sharing? How do we trade amongst ourselves? I think also that will also help us as countries and as a people. No one knows everything, no matter how big or how best your country may look. Everybody has something that you don't have, or they have something they know you don't know. So
Absolutely.
if we can and really love one another to say, hey, my neighbor is good at this, and also traveling amongst each other can help us to unlock opportunities among each other, to know, because a lot of us do not know so much about our next door neighbor. It's like not knowing that your neighbor is hungry until you hear that their son has been arrested for stealing. Look, what happened? They say he was stealing bread. And you have bread in your house. You're like, how can he steal bread? It's because you didn't know that your neighbor they're sleeping hungry, you know.
Absolutely.
So if we can start having plans to say, okay, these are our challenges, you know. I know that those things are in most cases gathering dust in some places, in some countries. They are written there. They have plans. They've got everything. But why are we lacking in terms of implementation of the plans? Because we already know, as you said, 50 years. I was listening earlier when you said it's been more than 50 years. Many countries have not really built capacity to develop their nations. And how do we now, as this generation that's here, because it's our time, you know, regardless of, we can have old leadership, but at the end of the day, whatever loan they're taking, the old generation who are 70, 80, even those who are 90 still in power, he's still going to pay for it. You know, we're going to pay for it for the next 30, 40 years, you know, some of the loans that they're taking. And
Absolutely.
if we do not make sure that we our leaders account and also benefit us in the 30 years that we'll be paying some of the loans that they took for their budget deficit and all that stuff, what have we benefited? Or are we going to pay for something that really didn't benefit the country? And also looking at, like, for example, each and every sector, power, we need to really have a power plan, a power strategy. How are we going to implement it? How much money is needed? Why? Where are we going to get the money? Because sometimes we need to really ask ourselves realistic questions. Because it's nice to, when you see this government ministers, when they show you their plans, this is what we will be doing for the country, 2030, vision 2050, ABC and all that. But we need to be realistic and know, okay, as a country, how much revenue are we getting from whatever we're having, whatever we're trading with other nations? How much revenue does our state get from its citizens and from the things that they sell outside? Things like that. We need to be open, because most of our countries, we don't really even know those things, even though the data is there. But as a people, just talk to your people in an easy format, an easy way for them to understand that as a country, we're only generating 60 billion in revenue, and that 60 billion that we're getting, it can only stretch us for this, and it can only accumulate this and that. And also looking at other models, as you say, looking at other countries, South Korea, such a small country, how did they develop? How did they industrialize? How did they export technology? How did they become a knowledge economy? Because we have a lot of countries in Africa that will not be mineral rich. That is a fact. Your Rwanda's, other countries that are small, they will not compete with Congo, DRC. They can't compete with other countries like Tanzania in terms of land mass and resources. How can they also build something that can make them generate revenue and also build? And also, like, where we can meet as Africans, where we can share our ideas in terms of, yes, we understand that Tanzania is planning this and this. How can we do things, regional things, where it needs be, and where it can also, help us in terms of the budget? Because sometimes as countries, we cannot do everything. That's a
Oh yeah.
fact. We don't have the money to just, yes, it's all good. We can say we can build hydros, we can build this and this and this, but money is also still going to be an issue. And how do we source money, and how can we sometimes even work together, like, with the Grand Renaissance Dam in the hydro scheme in Ethiopia?
Yeah.
How even the community contributed to building the GER, they call it the Grand Renaissance Dam. How can we as a community as well, if needs be, if as a community we need to take 10 shillings, each household might contribute 10 shillings, government will come with certain money, we're going to take a loan for this much, and there'll be transparency, and so we're going to build this. For now, as Ethiopia, it's also a great example of what they're doing, because it's going to help a lot of Ethiopians to have electricity instead of just the urban centers having electricity. But now they have the capacity to build more and maintain that, and also make sure that the citizens in the continent, or even in the country, gets electrification, and even obviously investment through having more capacity in terms of electricity. And we need to look at DRC, going back to DRC, as rich as it is. the hydro potential of DRC, it's unmatched with any country in the continent. They have so much rainfall, they have the deepest rivers. So there's a big potential there where we can, as there's been even studies that have been done that if Congo can electrify most of the African continent through their hydro schemes, if capacity is built. But it looks like if it's not in my house, it won't benefit me. I don't think I'll put money in there. I'll rather hold my shilling or my dollar or whatever, So, but we need to get to a point where we can have such things. I know that something that's building your country, bringing electricity to my country, I might feel, what if there's war? What if there's whatever? But those things can be guarded. It can be, they can be really control and transparency, where all the nations that have put money to build that capacity, they get the fair share, access to those resources, and everybody benefits. And we, as a whole, as a country, as countries, we all benefit, instead of just one country struggling with all the potential. We have got the potential, but my neighbor next door is good in something that they can help you. And also removing pride as Africans to say we need one another. We need to realize that we need one another, regardless of whether you are ahead, you're behind, you have this, you don't have this. We all need one another. If you can have that, we can compete with all these other nations, because it took a lot of nations for them to unite for a common cause, for them to elevate poverty, unemployment, diseases, lack of infrastructure, all those things, if you look at Europe has not always been as glamorous as sometimes now we just see it as if the Europeans have things all figured out and all that. In the last 200 years, that's when Europe kind of took shape in whatever it is today. And for us, if we are looking into the next 50 to 100 years, we need to be really serious about the common goals for our countries and common goals of Africa. And if you look at every country, we have common things, His Excellency. Lack of water, clean water, lack of electricity, lack of good roads, lack of certain infrastructure. Every country, there's no country that says, I have everything. None. So those are the things that they should be uniting us to say, hey, family, we need one another. How can we do this together? How can we do this? How can we help one another? And we know we have different sizes. It's not like for like. Yes, we have different challenges, different languages, different cultures. But let's have the common thing of, let's say when we're building. It's no longer about you are this, you are that, you are this. I remember even 2010 in South Africa, how it took a common thing, of which was, we need to finish the stadiums. We need to host this World Cup. We need to make it a successful World Cup. it took everybody, even though at first others were saying it's a waste of money, taxpayers' money. How can you spend so much billions on an event for a month? Other people were very negative. They were really saying, no, this thing should go back to another country. We shouldn't be hosting. We are not ready. This and this and this and that. But it took more leadership to say, we already have this in our hands. We need to build this capacity, and we all have to make sure that we finish this project. We need to make sure that we host this project. And everybody bought into this idea. There was an excitement pre-2010 to say, wow, the World Cup is coming to South Africa. World Cup is coming to Africa. World Cup is, and also how our media can also hype the people. The power of media, how we've not had a media that's really building societies. We've had media that's just reporting things that are happening, good, bad in our countries, but there isn't really a build-up to advertise our countries to look good. If you look at America, they've got a good PR scheme of PR, how they manage their country. They've got many challenges, but America, they've made it in such a way that everyone, when they think America, they just think, oh, milk and honey. Wow, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna make it there. Yay! Poverty is not gonna be my portion anymore. But there's really poverty in there. But
everybody wants to go there.
Yeah, and American dream, how they sell the American dream, and how they sell America, the greatest nation on earth. Sometimes when you listen to them, some of the Americans, when they talk, America is the greatest nation on earth, and there's many countries out there that are very beautiful, that have, in terms of lifestyle, way better, or even equal to that. But then how America advertises itself and how they sell their stuff. Yes, they've built capacity to also back them in whatever they're saying. But how can we also build a PR? Like in terms of our tourism, how can we make sure that our tourism really gets us more revenue? Like sometimes it saddens me, His Excellency. Imagine cities like Paris getting millions and millions of visitors. A city alone getting maybe 20 million visitors a year. And a country that has more beautiful nature-wise, than even the whole of France or even Europe, failing to attract even 10 million, half of, even 5 million, a quarter of what their one city is attracting, because they're also looking at how they advertise their country, how they sell their country. They sell their countries very well, regardless of the challenges they have. And we also have something that we can also sell our countries very well, and sell our continent to say, you can come and spend holiday here. This is a place where you can come and enjoy. You can have peace, tranquility. You can have, the best life. We need to be selling such things, because it's not just going to be industries only. We need to also look at tourism, how the image of a country becomes very important to even people to bring money into our countries, So things like that, it's very important how we also going to market our country. We need to market our continent very well. And when I looked at some of the YouTubers that have been traveling, they got a niche, because they were the first one to catch the wave, right? And like they were the first one to catch the wave and say, I'm going to this country, making Africa, whatever. And some people started buying into that idea, like, I need to visit these countries. I need to visit Tanzania. I need to visit Ghana. I need to visit Egypt. I need to visit Kenya. I need to visit Somalia, whatever, all this, Ethiopia, you name them, because of some people that took the initiative to say, we need to market the good of our continent, not just what other media platforms have already used and reused for all this time. So we also need to really start marketing us as a continent very well, to say, hey, we've got challenges, but something good is happening. This is good. And these are our plans. We are building this capacity. We are building these roads. We are building this. And also for us to enlighten one another, to say, wow, Tanzania is building one of the longest roads. Wow, it's building a hydro power electricity. How are they doing it? We need to, all that knowledge will enlighten us to say, okay, I need to go and see. Even countries can say, instead of me going to China to look at how they do hydro electricity, those dams, how they build them, I can go to Tanzania and go see how they did it. I can go to Ethiopia to go and see how they did it, So I can go to Lesotho, same thing, to see how they've built their hydro scheme and how we can do it. We have so much rain maybe in our country. the water, we have rivers, we have all this. How can we do those things? Instead of us, the first thing when we think money, we're thinking IMF, we're thinking World Bank, we're thinking international finances. Instead of us as well to look within ourselves to say, and be honest to our people, to say, as a country, this is our finances. It's because some of them, they don't want to be transparent because they know what they're doing. Of which people will start questioning, how can you say we've got this and then we are not getting the quality of the for what we have in our reserves? Why are we not getting the quality of products for our money? We're not getting what we're supposed to be getting for what we have, And also, at some point, also we need to look at ownership of certain industries that are really critical for our development as countries. Because sometimes they say open market, free market, but then we tend to forget why. Like some of His Excellency, the Honorable Julius Malema, one of your fellow comrades.
Yeah. The great guy right there.
Yeah, what he talks about when he talks about some of the what they call strategic industries in a country, how the Europeans and other countries, they've built capacity through certain institutions that were owned by the state to develop the nation before they started talking about free market, privatization, and all those things. There's industries that they knew that it will help a country develop better and also well managed, because all the instruments of government are hands-on on that to make sure that they deliver on those things. So we need to have those things where we need to really realize to say, okay, where is our wealth? I mean, if let's say a country is exporting a lot of oil, how much are we really getting? Are we just getting money from the tax revenue? Where are we getting our money? Or is the stuff really leaving and we're just taxing the companies only? Do we have maybe a world fund? All those things, we need to look at things that can really bring money into our country. How we can market our country. Tourism is one of them that can bring money into the country. Things that can bring us money in our countries so that we can start building. Because those countries, if you look at your South Korea, you know it better. I mean, they're exporting knowledge, they're exporting companies are everywhere. Their companies, as small as they are, their companies are everywhere in the world. They're extracting money from Africa, Europe, America, everywhere, but they're a tiny country, and not just look at Africa as a whole. We need to look at the world to say, yes, we're trading one another, we're learning from one another, we're sharing knowledge, we're trading, we're all doing this. And also the world where we can also expand our companies. We also need to have companies, big companies that are African based, that can go and take over the world. Because if you look at most of the big so-called developed countries, as you've said, His Excellency, there's no developed. We are all developing every day.
Absolutely. Tell them, His Excellency.
Yeah. We're all developing. We are all developing, Yeah. So if we can look at those countries, how soft power, when we go into now soft power, we need to be looking at soft power as well. We're not just looking at Africa, we just want to have our graduates who start working, all this and this and this. But influence, one of the things where America dominates is soft power, which is influence through media platforms, through music, through entertainment. That's one of the most powerful tools one can really, really change the mindset and channel people into what we need to do and what we need to achieve as a continent, So we need to be looking at also exporting things that people can buy in other countries, not just minerals. Because if you ask a lot of people outside and you ask them about Africa, some of them, they don't even know that what they're benefiting from Africa. They just think, oh, we are the ones giving them aid or something. Or they're the crying babies of the world. They're always begging and stuff. But we need to get to a point where we can even sell our knowledge, our culture, sell things anything that will bring money. America sells culture as well. The type of dress codes, it's culture. They control media. They control the mindset, how people dress, how people view things, even clothes. Certain clothes, when you wear them, I know His Excellency live his Nikes. So
Mm.
you know, so things like that. How the
Yeah.
branding as well. Branding is also
Mm.
important. How we can brand our nations instead of just always saying the negative about our countries and stuff.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
That's where we can
Mm.
export and even get
Yeah.
more revenue.
Yeah. Mm.
But I'll leave it to the comments a bit.
Man, His Excellence, man, I missed you, man. Uh, these are kind of things, man, I miss, man. You, you, you give a lot, man. You give a lot, man. You pour. I don't know where you get these things, but you always have something to share, and something deep. You know what I'm saying? Like you just
Hmm.
tap into something, and it takes over, and you share. You say things that are really, really important, and I hope I do believe that this will help our generation. Even if not this, maybe the next generation. They'll be sitting down and listening to Granddaddy Ezra, and they'll be like, man, this our grandfathers used to talk about this back in the days. At that time, I don't know what platform they'll have, but because technology is changing every single day. But you know what you said is really right. Let me go ahead and read these comments, and then there's one question I'll ask you, Ezra, a little bit later on. Adam said, we as Africans wasted time from 1960 till maybe 2010 on socialism economic policies. Now is the time to catch up the inequality gap of Africa and the world, especially the West. From what I feel, Marit, it's good to see you, sister. From what I feel, India takes opportunities and work hard. All right. And work attitude and internet stability is also what India has in order. All right. That's good, Marit. It's good to see you, Jonathan. Salam, it's good to see you back, my brother. Adam is I'm going to work now. Thanks for reply and kind regards to you all. I appreciate Adam for being here. You forgot shortage of water. That's from Yenatan. Marit says people are too much focused on Western countries instead of working hard to build Africa and let it flourish. That's good point. That's good point. That is good point. Yeah, power and internet cuts. Fikre Desta says first by feeling our mind from the victim's mentality. Second, knowing what we want Africa to be. Third, stand together to accomplish our goal. We can do anything with faith, and I think she didn't finish. But these are three things that Fikra said, which I think is really important. I agree with her. First, freeing our mind from victim's mentality, victimizing ourselves, not victimizing ourselves. And second, know what we want as Africa. What we want Africa to be. What we want Africa to be. I think that question we really answer here so many times, that we want Africa to be united. We want Africa to be one. That's the beginning of everything else. That's the beginning of the change. That's the beginning of love, peace, and unity in this continent to some extent. And third is I stand together to accomplish our goal. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Such a good points there, Fikri. They don't care about Africans in America. I promise they don't care about Africans in Africa. Exactly. It's very easy to say, they don't care about Africa, but do we care about each other? We don't. No more resting. Okay. Reggie, I appreciate. Area I said this. I was talking about time, and I said time is life. And I was asking, because this idea just came to my mind, that if you hold your heart is beating like sometimes, right? So I was asking if those heartbeats is equal to seconds. Like those heartbeats, like 1, 2, 3, is it the same as second counts? If it does, even if it doesn't, but still the time is life. Like if you die, your time stops, the heartbeat stops, right? And so I was actually sharing about how important it is for us to keep time, because literally your heartbeat. So Reggie was answering here, say between 60 to 100 beats per minute. So you have 60 to 100 beats per minute. Yeah. So you see, between 60 to 100, and 1 minute has 60 seconds. So that means you have 60 beats to 100 beats. A normal resting heart rate should be between 60 to 100 beats per minute. So yeah, life, time is life. And now I get analogy that your heartbeats, the normal heartbeat rate, it is 60 to 100 beats per minute. Those are 60 seconds. That's 1 minute right there. So appreciate that, man. That's amazing. I hope the audio quality right now is good. A lot of people are happy to see you, brother. His Excellence. Marie says, Western countries get nervous that India economy is getting strong. That's true. That's what is happening in Africa as well. I mean, even when you try to build a dam like in Ethiopia or even here in Tanzania, Nyerere Dam, they already, they scared. They scared. It almost no more 2 to 3 generations live under one roof. I forgot what I was talking about.
I think it's the Indian families, how they can live with the grandmother, the father, like as a one big home.
I think that was really a solid point that you pointed out when you started, that one of the reasons why they are really is that togetherness that they have, togetherness from the family. You see how family, like this business, they're always based on family, like granddaddy, daddy, children, and people to come. I remember I went to Ethiopia and I met these Indians. I think I shared the video here. Maybe today after I'm done, I will share it here as well. This guy, he had his son and he was there, working with him. It's big company, it's amazing, and he was just sharing how much he does, of course, for the country they're living in Ethiopia, but also for the company, sharing how many people they are giving them scholarship to go here and there. So you see that part, and that part helps them to stay closer together and to really carry on until the end, because that will never go somewhere else. It will just be family based. It just be there. So we can learn that togetherness. We can learn that even from Nigerians. I think Nigerians are doing pretty well when it comes to Africa. When you go to other countries, they're always sticking together. They're always there for their people. They're always there to lift them up. And our desires and our heart, all Africans will be like that. You know what I'm saying? For our people as well. Yanatani says, I appreciate their Bollywood and cuisine culture too. Exactly. Actually, even our culture here is highly infected by Indian food. So we eat sambusa, we eat like chapati and all this stuff. We make it in our own design, but originally these food are from Indian, So we can't really get rid of India. Okay, so this is what I want to ask you a question. We don't have to get rid of India. I want to say that. My question is this, His Excellence. You have people that are scared that you have a lot of Indians in the country, in our countries, and they're the one basically holding economy, even here in my country, Kenya, and some other countries as well. I don't know about South Africa, but you have them almost everywhere. And so that fear, and what is difficult right now is that I was sharing before that most of them, they're already Africans because they've been here for a long time, for generations. They have our passport, they have everything. Like, so they are, some of them, I gotta admit that some of them consider themselves as African. Like, I was born here, I was raised here, I am Tanzanian, I am African. Some of them, of course, they don't consider that, and you can't force, because you have your own roots from long time ago. But how can we, do you think there's a hope to bridge this gap that is within our countries between this one race and another race? And I'm saying that because you have people who they don't like working for them because of every negative experience they've been through, but also there's a good experience as well. So how do we, what do you see? What do you see? How are we going to solve this issue? How are we going to address this issue? And that's why today I was having here my brother. I wanted to have my brother here. It's a one way, the relationship that I have with him and what we planned. I mean, in our conversation, we talk about, brother, how can we change Africa? That's what we talk about in our conversation. And so I wanted to have this conversation here. And, Bavish is one of the example of people who clearly, want to see something change. And they use everything they can to bring about that change. So, yeah, I don't know what you think about it, His Excellence, but I would love to really hear your stand on that. Oh, I lost His Excellence. He'll be back up. Noel Braun, he says, when are you educated, technically, sound-minded Africans going to set up the African network system? Are Africans people going to keep giving away their talent? Yes, His Excellence. Welcome back.
Sorry about that. I also just got disconnected. I don't know what happened to my connection. It kind of just dropped me, and I think I had when can you just repeat that, because I think I kind of missed some of your points just before you close, before you said how other races and stuff. You were something there. You were saying something there. I think that's where I lost you.
Yeah, I was asking about the population of Indians in Africa, that they are actually, I mean, they moved long time ago here. Some of them, as I said, they consider them Africans because their granddaddy, daddy, they've been here for a long time, and basically they're leading, in so many companies and economy here in our countries. The reason why I'm having this conversation, because instead of avoiding, we have to talk about these things, right? You can either say, oh, these guys are really evil or really bad, or you can say, hey, there's something to learn from this. There's something has been done right, and I think we need to learn. Sometimes you just need to humble yourself and learn and take the good parts and, make change. So how do you think can we address this issue, especially in our countries, the issue that we have between, the local Africans and Indians as well? There's this tension that is there. Here, for example, in my country, there was a time even teachers, they had to demonstrate that we're not going to school because we are being, treated this way and that way. But what do you see? What can we do? The economy is already held, by them. There's something that we can learn. But how can we address this? And how can we, in a way, like maybe, reconcile or bridge this gap that is there between us and them? It could be them, even other people as well, because we have other races in Africa.
I think it's in many countries where they dominate, especially East Africa and Southern Africa. We have big families or people that have been here 4 or 5 generations in the continent, and also, I mean, besides 4 or 5 generations, India has always been. We've been trading with India for the longest time, for many years. I think it's not something, even Europe, I mean, how they use Africa to go and buy spices, trade with the East. They'll pass through Africa and everything. And how even some of the countries colonized Africa was through trade. It was trade really that made them realize the importance of Africa and what Africa holds. So if we want to talk about them and also their treatment to the people, I don't think it's something that's in Tanzania only, where there's been issues of unfair treatment to the Black Africans from the Indian community, of which, yes, it's something that we need to address as countries. If they feel that maybe they're underpaid by them, or they feel that they are not treated well, it's something that as a country and as a state, we need to sit down and talk and say, these are the things that are dividing us as a country. And that's where it takes leadership to say, things that are going to divide us as a country, they need to be addressed as a matter of urgency, not for them to for us to see teachers downing tools and not going to school, and for us to see such a thing now the ministers are trying to resolve the issue. It's something that we need to talk about openly.
Mm.
And also sometimes I think some communities, when they start accumulating wealth, others they not always, but some communities, they tend to think they are untouchable, to think they are maybe superior, of which that shouldn't be the case, because they should be trying to be very, 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 they should use a lot of wisdom when dealing with a situation where, if you look at in many countries, the richest people, normally they are very quiet politically. They don't love commenting, because once you start commenting, you threaten other people and you might be taken out. Your wealth can be seized. The state can just say, we're taking your bank, we're taking this. So I think sometimes for the rich communities, especially whether with the coming from Asia or wherever, when they're coming to do business, and the people have supported them for so many years, and they've taken themselves as their home country, and that's their home, they should really care for their home and care for each and every person, and really treat everyone in a way that their interests will not be tarnished and their interests will not be touched. So the same thing, they should not just be quiet on political things, but socially on a day-to-day basis they mistreat people, or people are feeling like they don't pay well, they do this and this and this. Those things need to be addressed as a country, and they should not be something that we're scared to talk about. As I always say, His Excellency, that every matter in Africa should not be something we're afraid to talk about. Whether it's xenophobia in South Africa, anything, we need to talk openly, without fear, without what's the word, like, without having people feeling that they'll be victimized if they talk about this thing openly, without openly and say, we are talking, we are a family, we have disagreements, this one doesn't like this one likes this, how do we make this thing work? Because we are all here now. This is the situation we find ourselves in, the same house. A country is a house as well. The things that we run in the household, His Excellency, you have siblings as well. So there's a brother who likes waking up late, there's a brother who wakes up early, there's a brother who eats too much, or a sister who eats too much. There's so how do we make all these different people to really have to know the house rules? First, the house rules, which is the country's rules. How do we make sure that the rules of the country, or the rules of the house, is we all clean the house, we all treat one another fairly, we all love one another, we all do things together on this day and this day, and this day and this day, we are all given tasks to do, as each and everyone has a task. Whether it's to mop, it's your task. Whether it's to climb the tree and cut the leaves or the branches, it's your task.
Absolutely.
And no one should compare each other and say, no, but this one is just cleaning, it's a small labor. Everyone is important, their roles are important. As a country, if we start managing to understand each and everyone's importance and their roles, that's where now we can really understand that if you're good in economics, you're the business guy in our family. And every family is like that. We all have families where you've got a rich uncle who's doing well in business, who's the big man. When he comes, everyone expects sweets and all the nice things from him, And there are those who are just teachers, but they are best teachers in whatever at their schools. And there are those who are just guys who are miners. They are good at that. That's where God has placed them. But the main thing is to draw strength from each other. To say, if we don't have a miner, we cannot get our resources out. We cannot sell this resource. If we don't have a businessman, we cannot have people. We will not have a lot of people employed. We'll not have this. We'll not have this. We'll not have a lot of tax revenue in our country. We need the business people. So and also respecting one another, to say, regardless, as business, respect the labor laws of a country and treat people fairly. If you know that the labor law says the minimum wage for a teacher is $5 per day, is $5. Don't try to cut corners. Let's do things the right way, so that everyone can really benefit from the resources and the wealth of the country.
Mm.
So, and also there'll always be that, I know some people, it's a controversial topic where minorities tend to look like they are the ones who are managing the whole economy. Same thing South Africa, where a lot of people, they look at the minorities as white people as the ones who are running the economy of the country.
Mm.
Because also you must look at how long have they been doing some of the work. You
Mm.
find that most of them is also 5, 6 generation. You've got families that have been doing business in mining for over 100 years. How do you compete with someone and you're only given 28 years to start your own? And people
Yeah.
who don't know those setups, they just think it's just normal. How can you be rich and you are not rich? But look at the history. Some people were given a stepping stone first. They were given the 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 shoes to run. They were given all the resources to run first before others.
Mm.
And also, and in every country you've always have minorities, but how do you make sure that as minorities, who are, whether it's a tribe that's maybe good in business, owning a huge chunk of the economy, we still need to make sure that everybody else still is able to do business. They are not limited to do business. They are not limited to reach higher levels and be as equal as everybody. Those are the
Mm.
things that we need to enforce. And also other communities not to feel inferior, because sometimes I
Mm.
think some communities feel inferior. They feel that they can't have a say because other communities are ahead of them because of their money, because of their influence in politics and in business, and they feel that we need to take, and maybe if we take from them we'll have. But it won't be the case. It won't be the case of especially in economics. His Excellency, you know better. You cannot just. It's not a thing where you just take and give somebody and say, yeah,
Yeah.
now it's owned by a black African now, which means it's all well, and yeah,
Mm.
we fine, we can. And people sometimes they look at economics so simple, like we need to take from this one, we need to give to this, we need to distribute. That's the word they use in politics. You need to distribute the wealth of the country. Yes, we need to, but the main thing when we distribute is for everyone to have equal opportunity, everyone to have
Mm.
equal access to resources, instead of
Mm.
only, because now when you distribute, it's a sensitive thing, because you find that maybe the people in the cities, they
Mm.
benefit more than the people in the rural areas. What if now the rural areas say, no, we're not gonna farm anymore because we don't have good schools, we don't have good roads, but we are the ones that are feeding the nation. And you guys in the cities are getting electricity, we don't have electricity. So
Yeah.
those are the things that we need to look into, to say resources need to get to reach everybody. Electricity needs to go into the rural areas. Water needs to go to the rural areas, not be in the urban centers only. Schools need to be built in the rural areas. All those things, they need to be everywhere in the country so that everyone is given the same platform and same equal time and equal
Mm.
opportunity to be whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
so basically it's about resources. So
Mm.
another thing is policies that a country can bring and say, okay, we're seeing that maybe the Indian community is the one that is owning a huge chunk of our economy. How can we make more black people to start also having ownership and also
Mm.
having business that can be big
Yeah.
businesses that can grow?
Yeah.
What Because the government is there, like every government of any country, they have the resources to do anything.
Mm.
Anything, whether they give preferences to black businesses first before the big businesses, so be it,
Mm.
as long as you're trying to make sure that others can also have the same equal opportunity you know
Mm.
so those are the things that where a country will have to decide whether
Yeah.
they want to do something about it economically. There's an economic policy they want to do
Yeah.
that will also like if you look at South Africa, they're using affirmative action, they're using employment equity, and employment equity goes now, it's not just about race, it also goes into females. As a woman also, they need to get more equal opportunities in any
Mm.
industry. So
Mm.
you have
Mm.
to cover those things, a ratio female male. So people sometimes can talk about these things. Now when it comes to this, you find that there's now more black males who are in business, of which in many
Mm.
countries it's still the case, where
Mm.
the chart is still skewed more for the male to dominate
Mm.
in many industries. And some women are crying to say, why are we not being put forward? Our companies, when we have to tender for a business, we are most likely not to get it, but a company that's owned by a male might get the job. It might be
Yeah.
preferred, it might be trusted, and all those things. So,
Mm.
but I don't know if Tanzania or any country, if they're having minorities that are there, which policies are they planning to do, um, to make sure that everyone gets the same equal opportunity and everybody can really get business and also support those businesses. I mean, if you look at South Korea, going back to South Korea, I don't know why I'm going back to South Korea more than India. Maybe it's those companies. I mean, like your Samsung, your Hyundai, all those companies. At some point, the state really supported those businesses to be strong financially for them to end up going outside their country.
Yeah,
because the government supported them to take that policy to say, we are going to now America, we're going to establish a plan in America, we're going to go to Africa, we're going to go to Europe. All those things were supported by their state. So if the state is not really supportive of business development, then obviously it's they'll just fall. I mean, they'll keep on talking the same issues about not having money, always having to get funds and loans and aid. In fact, not funds, aid from other nations to balance their budget. So, but those are the issues that we need to address them, and we need to talk about them. If we feel that in Tanzania the Indian community is owning so much, okay, let's look at the black. What is that disadvantage for the black community from them reaching those levels? And also have self-introspection, because sometimes, as I said, His Excellency, that some people have the mentality to think we'll take from these people and we'll give to everybody else. And it won't work like that. You find that you kill an industry thinking you're going to take and give everybody. And also, who are you going to give? Because you've got 60 million people in Tanzania now. Who are you going to give? Is it going to be the same politicians who created those policies and their families to benefit? So those are the things that we need to do. Is a deep self-introspection as a country to say, who? Same thing with South Africa. Some people say we need to take the land. Okay, which land are we talking about? Are we talking about productive land that is bringing revenue to the country? We're talking about land that is just... Those are the deep conversations that we have not really talked much about. For example, to say, if you're saying the white people are owning all the fertile land, or they're owning more land, which land are we talking about? Is it productive land? And what is stopping? What are the disadvantages of black people from also having the land that they already have? What's stopping them from doing certain things? And how can we also make sure that they also enter those industries? You see. So, but those are the deep introspection that a country needs to do. Who's going to benefit as well? Because we might just change color, but then it's the same politicians or the same people who are drafting policies and all those things that benefit from the same things from those industries if they take from one person to another. And how can we grow the cake instead of dividing the cake to a smaller cake? Rather, let's try to build and make sure that more people are participating and more people are getting to those businesses and are given the opportunity. Like when big projects come, how much can we source from? Like with the dam, I mean, in Tanzania, how many local businesses are we procuring from? How many local businesses are subcontracted? If they're not, we don't have one major a local company that's running the whole project. As much as we might call it Chinese, we may call whoever, we need to make sure that our industries, our construction companies are participating, and we should not fear to tell whoever is also contributing to the table to say, we are also going to need our people to have business in this big projects. It won't be just a whole Chinese company, Chinese labor, and then they do and leave. We need to make sure that our people are also still participating in those big projects, and knowledge sharing and knowledge that will be left behind after the project is done.
Let me ask you the last question, His Excellency, and then across this session. You can keep it short for this one. Jonathan asked this question: that what was the main purpose of most Indians coming to Africa during colonization? We don't have many Indians in Ethiopia, so I don't know. I think you answered this when you're talking about this when you started, eh?
Yeah, trade and slavery as well, Jonathan. To answer you, like with in South Africa, for example, remember how even the tea plantations, how tea came to Africa. Sugar cane, how it came to Africa. When now we're talking about like mass production, it was mostly the Indian labor that brought those skills to Africa.
Mm.
Because the
Wow.
typical sugar cane that we're using, yes,
So,
especially for
so
South
you mean
Africa, for
for
example.
slavery that Indians they came here to Africa to work?
Most of them came
Okay.
through the colonization. Sorry, yeah, they
So
came
those
during
so
that time.
British guy they took them and then they brought
British,
here to plantation and
yeah,
everything. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, wow.
even
So
the Dutch
so
as well
that's
at some point.
so that's what so talking about this is really good because that's what really connected us with them back there because we were all slaves, like we were slaves and they took our people, they brought it here just like when they took Africans and brought them to the US or to different corners of the world, to work and everything. That's what actually connected us back then, some
Exactly.
of it. Wow.
Mm,
So our story goes all the
exactly.
way beyond. So those people today, they've been here since then. You can't be talking about let's kick them out. That ain't gonna happen because they were not. They didn't. Some of them, most of them, they didn't come because they wanted to come, but they were taken away. It's like kicking Black Americans from America. That get out of here. This is not your country. Come on, man. What kind of nonsense is that? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So that's really cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. Did I catch
Mm.
you, or you were still answering that question?
No, yeah, it was trade and obviously colonization. Mostly the last generation that came, it was through either slavery or trade, or and also the industries that they needed to build. Remember, like the tea plantation, sugar, and all those things. Those industries, mostly the Indians were already doing those. They had the labor for it, especially in South Africa. How they came, most of them they came through that, and then obviously other skills that go with certain industries started coming obviously later on.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
His Excellence, let me say this, man. I've missed you. When are you gonna start your session, man? I gotta ask you right now.
Hey man, I think I need to move my sessions to maybe somewhere earlier in the week, because hey man,
Yes.
it's not been easy, especially
Mm.
with work, with so many things that I'm also doing. It's not been easy to just basically do the live stream. And I saw what my heart is there, but the times that I sometimes get, or else I'll start doing maybe some live really late, like some. Remember, while at some point we used to do lives around 12 midnight or something. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think at some point I'll just have to say, you know what, tomorrow
Mm.
12 midnight in Africa, which is like 4 p.m. for someone who's like Jonathan, who's in the US or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That's
uh, yeah, hesitancy. I need to. Hopefully things will quite will start being a bit quiet for me. And I still need to do a lot, man. I still need to do a lot. I mean, I still owe you a SNOA a visit. I need to be in
oh
Tanzania.
yeah.
Hey man, there's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I was talking to Mwendatezi today. He's gonna resume
Mm,
his show because there's a lot going on in Kenya.
mm,
Division and all those stuff. So I was telling him that I think it's the right time for him to bring back the show and to talk about Kenya specifically. And he told me that he's prepping up right now. So he might be coming back probably next week and start his show as well, which is amazing. We have somebody here before we run out. I would love to bring in Sherry. Sherry is in the house. What's up, Sherry?
mm.
Hello, hello, my
Yay.
family. Hi.
Hey.
Mm.
I just wanted to thank Pastor Ezra for his wonderful return and to share an African proverb with my dear family. One who causes others misfortune also teaches them wisdom. That's the proverb. One who causes others misfortune also teaches them wisdom. If you notice, in India, one of the first things Prime Minister Modi did was to, oh boy, who's calling? Was
It happens to me all the
to
time.
review the NGOs, and all NGOs that didn't have his country's interest, his country's best interest at heart. He cancelled their approvals, and the number was large. I have it recorded. I don't recall it at the moment, but he cancelled quite a few NGOs because of the mischief that they were making in his country. And it is also very difficult for foreign entities to cause any type of coup d'etat activity in India, and they pride themselves on their robust democracy. They want their sovereignty. They want to choose their leaders. Those 2 points. In addition, the textile industry, in the time of Winston Churchill, the textile industry in India was very admirable, and the British sent people over to actually chop off fingers of those who were creating textiles in India, so that the textile business would be crippled because Britain could not compete with them. You see, and they decided among themselves, never again will we let foreign interference hinder the development of our country. So I'll repeat again, one who causes others misfortune also teaches them wisdom. This is an African proverb. So I'll leave with that. Thanks again, their family.
Wow. Thank you
Wow,
for
Cherise.
coming. Wow. Yeah. Sherry.
Wow, man, I missed this family. Like I think I wish we can all just just come in and man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, Jonathan, he visited India last year, at the end of last year. Jonathan, you should come here and give us a little bit of your experience when you were there. He was there, and I remember he shared with me some of the news, and I shared here as well. It was really fascinating. But Sherry, thank you so much for sharing those. I think you shared really important points, and I think that is the same thing we can apply to Africa as well, especially cleaning the house, because there's so many NGO here in Africa that they don't really work for the people. They have their own agendas. But that's when the leadership comes. Like, where's the leadership to stand and to defend our people and be like, you know what, you guys, you gotta get out of here. You ain't doing anything. We see your reputation, what you've been doing here, so we don't need you here anymore. I think we need that. But it's almost difficult because a lot of our people, they get a lot of money through those NGOs, themselves, and it doesn't really serve the people. It's hard, Actually, NGOs, they have a lot of money. NGOs, like, it's like NGOs, non-profit organization, guys. Oh man, like I just last week I visited one NGO, man. First of all, the office, and I heard the budget, the money, the budget. I was like, man, I have NGO. What's wrong with my NGO? Because there's really non-profit organization, and there's non-profit organization. I was really surprised just knowing the budget and everything, man. They actually have a lot of money. I think it's the time. It's the time to bring that change and to clean the house here in Africa. Yeah, he was there all month of July. Yes,
It all comes back, as you said, to leadership.
His Excellency, you need to become a president of South Africa, man. You can compete with Malema, We'll be here on your side. Some good people,
the main thing is to have the interest of our society, our people, more than anything else, and not to lose that. The sad thing is how sometimes everyone. I remember this story I once watched. It's a Nigerian movie. I think I once shared about it, that there was this politician that this other young politician used to admire, to say, I want to be close to this man. And when they started getting close, he realized that the guy was not who he thought he was, because of the power change. Like, this guy was now more into when he obviously the opulence of living in the political what do you call circles kind of tainted a lot, where he thought there's this thing that we need to do, but the old guard was very, very toxic. That the young guard, the ones who still want to work, for the people, who still have the heart, they were kind of slowed down and made sure that they corrupt the young seeds. That the thing is we should pray that we don't get the young seed being corrupted by the old seed, where the things that we want to see in our generation is tainted and corrupted by the people who are already sitting in the position of power. And then we forget why all this cries, all the sleepless nights, why all these things. Why do we now, when we get into power, we forget what brought us here? And the luxury, the let me say, the comforts, it should not really make us slack and make us forget that there's a lot of people who still rely on us to tell the truth and to do the right thing at all times. Because that takes a lot. And a lot of people sometimes, as they are growing, they get really corrupted by so many things in life and so many influences around them, that when now they have to speak the truth when they're in power. Their voices, they say, when they're outside, they were making noise, we shall do this for the people. Then goes into the state house, his voice is, we are doing this now for the people. Now the voice is no longer the same energy that you were using outside. Instead of using it inside to bring about change, they don't use that anymore. It's like the energy was just for political campaigning. After that, everything goes back to the same situation, the same systems that were there. No one is able to change them, but the system now corrupts the new seeds. Any new seed that's coming to bring change, it gets corrupted by the system that's already in place. That's something that we as Africa, we need to fight, that it gets destroyed, and we can build systems that are sustainable to develop our people, that will be transparent for our people, that we can account for each and every cent of our people as a continent. Then a lot of things will be done. A lot of people will not have to have funny funds in tax havens and all these things, or companies in tax haven countries. Sherry, I hope you don't have is it a safe haven, your island?
Well, I know Trinidad is a cocaine transshipment point, actually.
Wow.
Unfortunately, yes.
So and one last
we
thing.
gotta go there one time, His Excellence.
We need.
I gotta visit Sherry, man. Sherry, Sherry, send us the invitation later.
Okay, no problem. No.
Yeah. We gotta go there, man, and we can have a session right there.
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do in the Caribbean as well.
Yeah.
A lot of work, a lot of growth, to be done, because I think our problem is that it brings to mind another African proverb. When there is no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot harm you. And in the Caribbean, we have developed, some very powerful enemies within, which is why our economies are also dominated by others. In Trinidad, it's, two groups, East Indians and Syrians. So I think one of the reasons I did so much introspection was because when I was 7 years old, An Indian girl in my class told me that her parents told her not to play with people of African descent too much. And I think since then, I have always been reflecting a lot on the idea of what exactly constitutes a bad influence, and developing my own robust personal value system, which would be based on something far more valuable and robust than simply someone's physical features. I don't think that is the best way to go about determining who is a positive influence and who is a negative influence. It really has a lot to do with intuition and discernment, which comes from your relationship with God. I could look at someone and God will tell me whether this particular person is someone to do any type of business with or not. That discernment comes from the divine. I don't look at the shape of the person's nose or the texture of the person's hair to tell whether this is an honest person or not. That to me is primitive, very primitive, and it is unreliable because many people have been ripped off in business deals because they weren't careful enough in choosing their business partners. So I would like to encourage everyone to develop their relationship with God so that they receive this gift of discernment, and it will save all of us a lot of painful lessons and unnecessary delays in life. Yes.
So good. So good. So good. Amen to that. Amen to that. I agree. 1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%. Man, this is very refreshing, man. Having you guys here, an arranged, very spontaneous session. Because I was supposed to have somebody else, but here we are, and it was just amazing, man. It's something that you can never think of, but it's here. So I thank God for you guys, and I really miss us. I miss us a lot, and I'll play my part. I've been playing my part these days. I've been coming here once in a while. So His Excellency Ezra, you can come anytime, even if it's 3 a.m. in the morning. I know you'll have there Sherry, you'll have Reggie, you'll have Marit, you'll have you'll have Yenatan there,
Definitely.
and you start conversation from there. You guys are the pillars of Swahili Nation. I gotta say that. Without you guys, there's no Swahili Nation. So I appreciate you guys for being there always. Yeah, lots of love. Lots of love. Time is everything.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I miss this family. Yeah.
Wanna do it. We need to do it. We can't stop. We're gonna do it. Just for me, I just need to make time. I believe that there is no such thing as no time. There is time, just to make time. I just need to make time, because a lot of things I've already already structured my stuff. It's just a matter of how to go about arranging the either interviews, whether the experts or anything, and we should be good to go. And another thing is the power issue. It's been a challenge with the power as well, being unreliable. They tell us, obviously, with us, you get notified. You can just check the app, your area, it'll be off from this time to this time. Mostly is like 2 hours. But yeah, the longest normally will be 4. That's when it's really 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 bad. But mostly it's like 2 hours. But then the 2 hours is depends on what time. So I'll have
Yes.
to look at those days and look at my schedule in terms of which hour I won't have power, then I can do it
Yeah.
and stuff. Or
Absolutely.
go somewhere where there's power and then
Yeah.
physically do it.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that I really think we should try to do this time, it's the time. For me, I wish, even if, like, somebody comes here and have like 15-minute session, it's all right. No, 30-minute session, it's okay. Having those session, it helps later to watch. Most of people, when they see it's very long session, they don't want to watch. But also there are people who love watching long sessions. So, there must be a balance there, because the people, for example, Marit was just sharing me the pictures here. She is having like she's walking around, seeing some beauty, some nature, and she's just listening to the podcast. So I think anything can happen. So for those who feel like, I'm really busy, I only have like 15 minutes, yeah, come and do 15-minute session, and that's it. It will be there, people will watch and will enjoy it. If you have if you have power like His Excellence Ezra here, can come and do 12-hour session. We all know. Yeah, we all know.
but the
We
dream
have
must
done that
happen,
before. We've done that before, man. That grace, His Excellence, that's grace. That's grace. Sometimes you might plan to do it and you don't do it, man. 12 hours? Oh, man.
Hey man.
That grace right there, man. I was sleeping and then I wake up, you're there. I'm dreaming and I wake up, you're there. Oh, man. I go to work, you're there. I come back to have lunch, you're there. I was like, man. Now we're talking.
We need to fulfill one goal we didn't do last year, which is
24
biggest
hours.
goal. It said 24 hours. Biggie wants
Yeah.
24 hours.
we just
That's gonna
need
need
two
a
Ezras. We just need two Ezras. One 12 hours, another 12 hours as well.
Biggie can do that as well. You remember he also did like something similar as well, like
Oh,
12
yeah.
or something at some point. So
Yeah. His Excellence, we need to bring that back, man. We need to bring that back. We just need. We need. We can do that. Actually, I think we should do it. We should do this. We should do this year. We should do this year. We should do this year. Especially if it will be like the time of anniversary, or any time that when our people come back and start doing it. Yeah, it's possible. I just have that day. We just have session. I can come here, have a conversation with Sudanese, and then we have another conversation with the Congolese, with Ethiopians, with all these countries, and just enjoy and just have a leisure time like this. Just talk about things. We need that. Yeah. Oh, maybe Sherry will come with her session as well. Just talk about African proverbs and its meaning. We need that.
Do that. I'm starting a collection of books containing African proverbs. I have 2 books so far, and I am about to purchase another one. So yeah, my main challenge these days is stamina. I'm still working on it. I'm doing aerobics, but I can't do it for more than, I would say, high impact 20 minutes. So that's my challenge these days, stamina. So that's why I always prefer to join a stream with someone else leading instead of being the leading person, because I know there are people, on other YouTube channels who will start a stream and fall asleep and then return, but I can't do that. I can't. The guilt would kill me.
That's Ezra.
No, not Ezra, not Ezra. No, other channels, other channels. Not SNN. No, but I've
It-
seen it a number
you
of
know,
times before, and I can't do that.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think that they're supposed to come. It's people who are trying to copy SNN. They're supposed to come
Yeah.
to SNN and ask for the ingredients to say, how do you guys do it? You don't copy and paste. You ban. You get banned.
Say power naps.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's like, guys, just give me a couple seconds. I need to gain some. Man, people really do that. I had no idea, man.
Yes, they do.
Hey,
They
That's
do.
wild.
They
Wow.
do. They start to stream. In the middle of the stream, they're nowhere to be found, and there are people waiting to be added to the panel who cannot be added because they are asleep. And there is no second host with the privileges to add the people who are waiting to join the panel. It happens very often.
Wow.
No,
So
they're supposed to
Sherry,
come to SNN for consultation. They should need to consult with
Ab-
SNOA Media. Family,
absolutely.
if you want to start a stream and you need tips, we have a consultation fee. You can drop us an email on SNOA Media. We'll help
Absolutely.
you.
You all know we the legend in this. We're the legend
Yeah.
in this. Started this thing. Eh?
Yeah.
Started this thing. Sherry,
Yes,
Sherry,
Miko. Yes, Miko.
this is really nice. A book review session with Sherry. I
Okay.
love African proverbs, and
Mhm.
and it could be literally, it could be 10 minute session, like literally,
Okay.
like
Yes.
just come here. You have maybe one proverb that you read, and then you give your meaning, and then you're done. You're done for the day. That's
Do you
it.
know what? Do you know what happens to me very often? I would read the book of Proverbs from the Bible, and
Oh,
a lot of proverbs in the Bible remind me of the African proverbs that I read before. So I could
yeah,
always see a very, very close resemblance.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that's what I love proverbs.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Let's do it. Let's do it. You let me know when you're ready, and
Oh,
I'll be there. I'll be there literally at the beginning, to kind of like guide and show how it goes. Yeah, and then after sometimes you'll catch it up, and then you can just go ahead and do it for yourself. If it is 10
okay.
minutes, that's totally fine. Yeah, and that would be really amazing because those content will really help a lot of people who wants to learn about African proverbs. So it could be
Yeah.
just like that, African proverbs with Shari, or
Okay.
book review, anything. It'll be really amazing.
I think I prefer this than a medical stream because now medicine has taken some strange terms, and I would really prefer to do the African proverbs than the medical stream. Because
Go
right
ahead.
now people can't agree on the methods of treating different diseases because there's interference from the business world in the medical treatment. So
Yeah,
I think I feel very comfortable with the African proverbs
yeah,
right now.
that's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, then that's it. Whenever you're ready, let me know and let's do it. We're back.
Okay, we're back. We're
We're
back.
back. And something here Jonathan just suggested, I think this is really nice. His Excellence, let's think about this, how we can do this. It could be even better if it's a book club where we all read the book and meet to discuss it once a month. That's a beautiful idea. It's excellent.
No,
It's a
Okay.
beautiful
a
idea.
great idea. It's a great
Yeah.
idea. I mean, it's something that we also encourage reading for Africans to read. And
Yes.
reading it's something that can really stimulate the mind,
Yeah.
acquire knowledge through reading, and for kids, I mean, we know reading helps with the spelling as well. So many
Yeah.
things. So I think it is a great idea. We can do this. I think, yeah. Let's try it. Let's give it a try. Book review, and obviously once you certain books that you might recommend as well, Sherry,
Mhm.
and even everybody can just say this is also a book that we can also look into. And if we have a soft copy or whatever, or hard copy, whatever we have, and then we can also still maybe share and say, come, let's
Absolutely.
discuss it after a month or whatever. And then we all come and,
Mhm.
you know,
I love book club. So, Jonathan, you are the professor. So, this is your idea. Organize it. Let's start.
Yeah.
Organize it. We have your
mm,
YouTube. We just. I mean, I have your WhatsApp, so we can just, we can just bring. I mean, we can create this, a group of book club, and we have all these, a couple people that we are in that session, and we read book, and then we come. You're leading us. You are the professor, Jonathan, and this is your idea. Let's do it. Let's do it. How? When should we start? And which book should we start with? And uh, we gotta know all those details and go ahead and start it. It's a brilliant idea, and I know this guy. He writes very well, by the way, Jonathan. He writes. He writes. Is one of the he's the one of the smartest people I've ever met. No
Yeah.
cups. No
and
cups.
he cooks very well, eh?
Oh, I've
Yeah,
seen him.
cooks very well.
He
Like
cooks very well as
Africa,
well, eh?
Africa is better with this brother right here. So this and we always talk about SNN, where it came from. It came from this brother's brain. So
Oh,
Professor, let's do it. All right, I'm counting on you, and I'm waiting to see some ideas from you. Okay, let's do it, man. Wanna use
Professor
that
Y.
brain,
It's
Professor
it's
Y.
it's, prof, it's Professor Ye. Ye. Yena.
Hey, Professor Yena. Love that.
Yena.
I am
Because
searching. Ike Nwako is the author of one of the proverb books. Ike
Yeah.
Nwako, Nwako. That's the author of the book of Igbo Proverbs, and I'm still searching for the other author, which I haven't
Yeah.
found. This. Yeah.
So I would definitely add you guys, and also one person that I'll add in that group, the Minister of Education,
Oh yes,
Nathan. Yeah,
Nathaniel.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'll add all of you guys. Jonathan will be there. Ezra, Sherry, me, Reggie. You guys are out there. Marid, I'll add you there, and we can start it right away. I love that. That will be SNN Book Club. It's amazing, man. Do you know how much that is gonna do to our young people, Professor Yena? Do you know how much it's gonna do to our people? Encouraging them to read books, and we'll be giving them that this is the book, and we'll be sharing as well that guys, for the next month session, we're gonna be sharing the book of this, and please we will share the links that find this book. Please read so that when we have a session and talk about it, we can all be on the same page. So
Okay,
yeah,
I found the second author is Ibrahim Mustafa. Ibrahim Mustafa. That's the Book of African Proverbs. Ibrahim Mustafa, Mustapha. Right, so those are the two books that I have in Kindle form. If I had the PDF, I would have shared it with the group.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
have them on the Kindle. It's not possible to share a Kindle book.
No,
Yeah.
no. For the Proverbs books, that's your side, Sherry. That's your show that you take us until Jesus
Okay.
comes back.
Thank you.
And and for this book club, because imagine if you have like 10 minutes and then you just share one proverb and explain it, and how
Yeah.
many proverbs are in that book, so it's a lot of them. For
It's
the
a
book
total
club,
of 1,600 proverbs that I have.
so that would be like, wow, how many minutes? That's 1,600 times 10 minutes. Well, man, this is what it means to live. At the end of the day, all that knowledge and all that wisdom, it be with us. And truly, we don't really have those kind of videos on YouTube channel. So if we have like the Proverbs video, it really support, it will really help. And some of them we'll share on our social medias as well. I will share on Instagram, we'll share on Twitter and on Facebook. People will share as well to kind of know, to encourage our people. For the book club, Jonathan, Professor, he already shared that. He said last Friday of every month. Look at that. Professor is already giving some details. I'm with you, Professor. Who am I to say no to that? Who am I? I can't say no to that. I'm going to go ahead and create that group. All right. There's a lot of, in this club, we can read a lot of books, like a book, like, for example, you have a book of Dead AIDS by that lady from Zambia. A really nice book. And whatever book that you come with, Mr. Jonathan, you know that it will support, it will help our people. And, people in that group as well, you can always suggest we read. And then we come with really interesting books to share with our people. The books that actually also, kind of like emphasize on our education as well. We kind of like promote that as well. We want to read all these good books. I thought the book club and one proverb at the same session. Oh, the book club and one, yeah, we can do that. Why not? You could do that. We could do that. No, we could do everything. We can do everything. All right, we'll brainstorm in that group. We could have even a call sometimes and just brainstorm a little bit ideas. Yeah, I'll create that group tonight after I'm done this, and we'll take on from there. Guys, I love you. God bless you, Marit. God bless you, everybody who are here. And I appreciate His Excellence and Sherry. I'll let you guys go. We're gonna close this session. I love you guys.
Bye.
Love you, family.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yo, my people, that's it. Let me do this. That's it, my people. I love you guys so much. Thank you for stopping by here. And thank for everybody that participated here today. It has been very beautiful session. It took a whole different turn, but I bless God for that. So I'm just gonna go ahead to pray, and I'll be closing this session. God, I thank you. Thank you for a beautiful family that you've given us. Thank you for this community of SNOA that you've given us. And backgrounds, but we all have the common goal, and that to see our people united, to see a better Africa, to see our people free from everything that is happening. That is our hope. That is our vision. That is what we're fighting for. Even the sessions that we've been talking about today to start book club and everything, God, we're anticipating to see change in our continent by taking actions and share with our people and everybody out there. We praise you. We give you thanks. I thank you for everybody who has been here. And as tonight we go to rest, we pray that your spirit and your hand will go with us, God. Remember those who are sick. Remember those who are fighting. My sister Sherry and others that we do not know, those who are here and are not here. God, we pray that you'll touch them with your mighty hand, your hope and your healer. So we pray, and we believe in faith that is happening in your precious Jesus' name. Amen. Guys, that's it. And I appreciate for everybody being here. Yeah, this has been very refreshing. And I'll see you guys when you see me. All right. I love you guys. Good night. Good night.